You say it's changed, then only educate me about Wilberforce, not about the Africans in Haiti who beat the armies of the British, Spanish, and Napoleon from the moment they stole it.
Now, the truth in what he's saying here, that the tale of Haiti is such a beautiful, a triumphant tale, and I feel like it's rarely told. And even in history, it's nowhere in American history, it's nowhere new. Haiti was the first country to gain its independence. Think about that. Think about that. Before anybody else, right? Let's be real. Think about that. We can't have this tale be told of a nation of slaves who freed themselves from their captors. Welcome back to the So Random Music Channel, and this is our segment where we do reactions. And right off the bat, man, I know y'all noticed something is missing, something is different. Yep, Dwell is away shooting a movie in another state, so the show must go on. But in the meantime, I gotta feed y'all, man. It's been a minute since I dropped a video, so I'm back. I did Akala, The Fire in the Booth, Part 1, and y'all blew that up, and y'all said it was worth it to do Part 2, 3, and 4. So I'm doing Part 2. Alright. As y'all know, we loved Part 1. We thought Part 1 was phenomenal. We think Akala is a gem, and he spits raw, real bars. So yeah, man. And without further ado, man, let's get into this Akala Fire in the Booth Part 2.
I know you gonna dig this.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Carter, brother, you know what time it is when you hear this, right?
Let's get ready to rumble.
Yo, Akala.
Wow.
Knowledge is Power. Volume 1, mixtape, 28th of May. Listen, akalamusic.com.
Chase.
Tiny bit more vocal, please, actually. Listen, knowledge is power, always. Listen.
The scam, brother, the scam!
Oi, mate, my personal life's great. Some of you would love me more if I rub that in your face. Okay, well, let us run down the resume and have a little chat about Akala's living today. Big whip, nice yard, been all over the globe. Look how many continents that I have done. Shows, couple little companies, neat little office, everything going swell. Little bit of profit, built a business educating kids from the block. So far as I'm concerned, you gotta be a mug to not rate him. Own my own masters, still my own master. Novels and scripts on the way. Is just a part of the genius in his head, and he knows it, dickhead. Since I used to kick ball for West Ham with my big head. Back in school days, wearing hand-me-downs from my sister, and gal was still onto man. Now that's some Ross charisma. As just a nipper, I took my first pull of Rizla. And who you think gave me that? Yeah, my bigger sister. So when we speak of struggle, cousin, it's yours. You know the same old madness. Working class poor, yeah. So may have won a couple awards. I guarantee you that my family just as messed up as yours. All the abuse and the alcoholism and drug addiction. Uncles going to prison. This is working class living in Britain. It ain't great. You gotta be kidding. So please.
You know what I've always liked about Akala's music is that it is super relatable, and he's not flexing, and he's not rapping about guns and drugs and women. He's rapping about real shit that's going on with our world, and teaching the youth and spitting that wisdom. And that is real to me. That's his truth. He won't fabricate a truth to make himself look cool, because that's not his lane. But what he wants to do is enlighten you and tell you real stories about his life and the lives of people that he know. And so I've always found that super entertaining, super intriguing, and that's dope, man. I like artists that come from this raw point of view, this real point of view. And yeah, man, I wish there were more, but I think the category of rap this falls under, people would categorize this as conscious rap, and I feel like we've taken a step back in mainstream music from that kind of rap. Oh, if rap that's preaching to me, no, we don't want to do that. We want to go out and party, and there's certainly music for that fits that, but I think sometimes you need to take it back. You need to take it back a little bit and just reflect and listen to something that's going to nourish your soul. There's music for all times and places and moods, and you know what I'm saying. But sometimes you need some self-reflection, and something like this will help you do that. All right, let's get back to it.
Old madness, working class poor, yeah, so may have won a couple awards. I guarantee you that my family just as messed up as yours. All the abuse and the alcoholism and drug addiction, uncles going to prison. This is working class living in Britain, it ain't great. You gotta be kidding. So please don't ever get confused by me spitting, cause yes, I said the ghetto's in our head, but no, I didn't mean if you live next to a food yard, let that's in your dreams. I meant believing in the madness they spout about us is far more dangerous than putting us in council houses. So yeah, I criticize, but from a place of love, never, ever. Cause I think that I've become above every young bruv you wanna judge as a tug. It's me, man, it's a little guidance and love. So I think that you're the mug. And why be smug when it's an actual fact? We all commit crime simply by paying tax. Cause we didn't go and tickle them people in Iraq and ask them so politely for all the minerals we extract. We blew children's heads off, set fire to backs. We're a gangster nation, get down and you get clapped. So when you see the youth, they're running around on the road with heaters, don't be surprised, they're just copying their leaders. Long as the wars stay in places that are brown and poor, we can.
I think there's something to be said about what he said there about the youth kind of mirror the behavior that they see from their leaders and their older peers and people they look up to. So if we grow up seeing a certain behavior, a certain thing being done, it's easy to emulate that thing and become that thing. You know what I'm saying? And there's a category of people that believe that at some point we understand things are right and they're wrong, you know, no matter what age we are. But that's easier said than done. Just because you can know something is wrong, but because this is how you grew up, this is your upbringing, doesn't mean that you can then make the decision to escape it. You need guidance in life, and I think I'm a firm believer that humans need guidance, and it's easier that way when you have guidance, when you have an example to look up to of something that is right. It's easier to step away from the wrong things that you've been doing. But man, I just think there's so much compact wisdom and information in what he's saying. I can't. If I was gonna attempt to break it all down, I'd be pausing this video quite frequently. So I want to make sure I pause with intent when I really feel like there's something he said that needs to be brought to the forefront and have a discussion about. But yeah, let's continue.
Set fire to backs. We're a gangster nation, get down and you get clapped. So when you see the youth, they're running around on the road with heaters, don't be surprised, they're just copying their leaders. Long as the wars stay in places that are brown and poor, we can all pretend to be abhorred, but we applaud. If you go up to Knightsbridge and get violent, the policeman that duckers you will probably get knighted. If I don't wanna fight you, cuz it ain't cause I'm frightened, I'd just rather fight with those who really think they're titans. I ain't scared of bleeding, I am scared of breathing.
Ooh. I would rather fight with those who really think they're titans. Whew, that's a cold bar. Yep. All the big industries that hold things over us, things that we need to survive, like medicine and you know, the healthcare industries, you know, those people who fancy themselves gods because, you know, they found a way to own things that shouldn't be owned. Those are the Titan, those are the Goliath things, and those are what he wants to pick fights on. And I feel like that is so true in essence. That's so true what he says. It's a dope bar. It's a dope line. I just wanted to bring it up and talk about it real quick. Yeah, man. If you guys feel like this energy is off, it's not. It's just how I am without, you know, my co-captain. Like, he kind of brings the excitement out of me. So doing this by myself, I'm inwards. I'm reflecting a lot, you know. But anyways, let's get back to this.
The policeman that duckers you will probably get knighted. If I don't wanna fight you, cuz it ain't cause I'm frightened, I'd just rather fight with those who really think they're titans. I ain't scared of bleeding, I am scared of breathing another breath in this world where everything is so uneven. When millions murdered in the Congo when it's barely news. But if a footballer's wife should buy a pair of shoes, I'm supposed to give a f***. Apparently I do not. The world's a reflection of your block. And if you think a world that profit from their death and be totally cool, thinks you're better cause you live here, you're a bloody fool. Look around at genocidal abuse. I swear humanity ain't nothing but a virus with shoes. Then I pick my nephew up from school and I look at the youths and see the love they show each other, and I'm just so confused because they ain't learned yet what is their race or religion. So we're born unconditioned, but we learn to play our position in a system.
The youths are so innocent in the way that they don't learn the things that kind of divide us when it comes to class, race, religion. You know what I'm saying? They haven't learned all of that. To them, we are kind of fellow human beings. So a lot of the hatred that is taught through families, through mothers and fathers or cousins who teach young gullible minds how to hate, how to see otherism. And it's such a shame, because if we can just let them be, they can learn to love each other as human beings and not see and judge these differences. And that's so true and real. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of elaborate on that. Let's get back.
Humanity ain't nothing but a virus with shoes. Then I pick my nephew up from school and I look at the youths and see the love they show each other, and I'm just so confused because they ain't learned yet what is their race or religion. So we're born unconditioned, but we learn to play our position in the system. Look what that does to our recognition of self. We grow suspicion of our own intuition. Now listen, Akala's sick, but he raps about racism too much. Could you imagine I gave a flying? Cause it's amazing how many wanna claim they love this music with no respect for the actual struggle that produced it. Did hip-hop not start in...
How can you claim to love this music and you have no respect for the struggle, the hardship, the pain, the adversity that made this music possible? Because rappers like Akala speak from traumatic experiences, speak from real life things, and music that is born out of pain, born out of struggle, is authentic, it's raw, it speaks the truth. And when you're faced with the realities, if you're not willing to accept them, then you'll just want to nullify yourself and turn away from it. And that's just the facts. This hip-hop, rap, it was born out of adversity, out of hardship. When people would speak their truths about life. Some of the most iconic hip-hop songs you've ever heard. You know, think of NWA, Fuck the Police, all the countless Tupac songs that I don't have the time to name. You know? And that's where it was born from. So you might see a hyper commercialized version of it right now, and you know, it might not be as good as it was when it was just starting, but remember where it came from. It was an art. It was a way of self-expression that anybody could do. Even though it's commercialized and you gotta pay to get in nowadays, but that's what it was intended for. It was intended for people like me, people like you, people like who are struggling around the world to have a way to express yourself. I was a poet. I came from a way of poetry and found hip-hop later in life and transferred my poetry to rap songs, and that's how I grew up. And it was a way for me to express my emotions because there was nobody that I can express them to, and that way people around the world could see stories like mine and stories like Akala's and say, hey, I feel this exact same way, and form a community that way. Sometimes you don't have community at home. Sometimes you don't have people that you can look up to and speak about certain things. And maybe the one good thing about the internet, one of the great things about the internet is that you can find community, togetherness, solidarity in people around the world. And that way we can be united, and I think that's dope. But let's continue. Oh, this is a 14-minute video. I have not realized that, by the way.
Segregated hoods, and them hoods not still segregated, so it's really good. Or the First Nation not still on reservations where the age of 46 is the average life expectation. And fellas, I wonder where the favelas have been suddenly knocked down and replaced with something better. If you got sense, you see fights are joined, and race, class and gender are sides of the same coin. So if you're really down for justice, whoever the people who suffers, whoever you are, I consider you my sisters, brothers, but call it what it is, like Carlin or Bill Hicks. Not these patronizing left-wing little twits idiots that ask me dumb shit on a superior tip and wanna act like cause I read I saw less violence as a kid. Don't make me an exception for your mental protection from accepting the madness of the system we are left in. That was the clearest thing to come of August events. All the closet bigots started speaking their minds again. So when a Jamaican or Asians misbehaving, of course it's cause of their skin. Blonde hair kills a million people, that's just him. And it's entertaining, some people are so thick, but I prefer that than all of the fake grins. Cause it's the only problem, people claim they wanna solve but don't actually wanna talk about how it evolved. You are told, this country really, really yours, sir? What they did to brown people did to their own poor first and originally in the States. Working class whites were also enslaved, though no one talks about it today. Ever since the master came with the system of privilege, made the working whites the overseers, mulattoes the house, cause put the darkest blacks in the field. That mind is with us still. $1 billion industry, skin cream and bleaching pills. And let's be honest, most people of my complexion to this very day still think they're better than the darker section. You say it's changed, then only educate me about Wilberforce, not about the Africans in Haiti who beat the armies of the British, Spanish and Napoleon from the moment they stole it.
Alright. For those of you who don't know, I was originally born in Haiti and came to this country when I was very, very young. Alright? So, I am Haitian. Now, the truth in what he's saying here, that the tale of Haiti is such a beautiful, a triumphant tale, and I feel like it's rarely told. And even in history, it's nowhere in American history, it's nowhere new. Haiti was the first country to gain its independence. Think about that. Think about that. Before anybody else. Right? Let's be real. Think about that. That is something to be celebrated. But there was a reason that that story, that history was silence and was not spread, because back in the day they were like, hey, we can't have this tale be told of a nation of slaves who freed themselves from their captors, because the rest of the world still owns slaves, right? And they didn't want that to be in their slaves' head, thinking that they can rebel and take over. They didn't want that. That was a dangerous narrative, right? So they're like, hey, let's keep this on the hush hush. And what came along with that was Haiti was not accepted as an independent nation. And why is that important? Trades, relations, you know what I'm saying? Those were cut off. So Haiti was left to fend for itself, really. And I feel like that stunted a little bit of our growth. And it may be my own personal opinion. But yeah, man, what a beautiful story that I rarely people outside of Haitians know. Like French people might know, but I rarely see anybody else know. And it's something that should be celebrated and should be told. And this is why I feel like there's so much identity issues when it comes to common black youth and youth all over the world. We don't have great examples of what blackness should be, because all of the great examples are rarely talked about. How many chapters did they cover MLK? How many chapters did they cover Malcolm X? I don't know. Maybe I'm just rambling.
To this very day still think they're better than the darker section. You say it's changed, then only educate me about Wilberforce, not about the Africans in Haiti who beat the armies of the British, Spanish and Napoleon from the moment they stolen them. There was no controlling them. When I was in school, she said, no, you never fought for freedom. No, we freed you, and you were on your knees pleading. And what's more, did you know that we kind of saved you from the barbarism of Africa? You should be grateful when enough of our own people can't be bothered to read that they actually believed that we were swinging from trees. They don't know the kingdom of Congo had embassies in Italy 500 years ago. Literally ain't heard of St. Maurice nor Septimus Severus. They ain't studying the past cause they think it's irrelevant, and attempts at pretending ancient Egyptians weren't African. Nothing more than pseudo-intellectual lies. They obviously ain't read what Aristotle and Herodotus said about people that they saw for their own eyes. And Egypt's been invaded since the fall of the pharaohs. Not once, not twice, but many, many times. So nobody wants to explain why so many statues are missing noses, even when them statues made of granite. It ain't one people alone mistaught about themselves. We live on Celtic land, but don't learn about the Celts the same. Irish people you characterize as stupid during the dark ages, some of the most educated living in Europe. And did you learn the numbers you count with every day was invented by Indian people? I bet you didn't. Or how many million Indians fought for Britain in both world wars? Still you got the cheek to call them immigrants. We don't learn about the Moors, of course. For some that knowledge dangerous. Is it a problem the impact they had on the Renaissance? When people take power over another group, we minimize their achievements so we can make it feel true. So if you think Columbus was first to sail ocean blue, you probably believe Elvis invented rock and roll too. And oh,
so many of these inventions, triumphs, were people of color, Indians, Asians, Black Americans, so many things that should be credited to all these types of people weren't. You know what I'm saying? Instead, they were credited to European white men that did these same things, because history is told by the victors, right? And if you think about that, so a lot of these stories of who really did this, who was the first to do this, who invented this, who invented that, are not as they seem. You know? So it's interesting to me how misinformed we can be about all these things. And you know, you really have to dig deep and want to do your research. Like I said, I had an identity crisis. I needed to know about not only blackness, but multicultural things as well. So that led me to read up and seek information, because I wanted to see people that look like me achieving things that I only see Caucasians achieve, because our life had let me believe at that point that if I wasn't white, then I wouldn't be able to achieve greatness in anything I do. Alright, let's keep going.
For the record, no doubt I believe in peace, but not for 1 second, and they'll turn the other cheek. They slap you, slap them back, take teeth. The only way a bully ever learn is getting beat. Fight fire with fire, nah, fire with water. See, the life-giving force is stronger than the destroyer. That's why these MCs can't speak to me. No, all men are not made equally. My brain's made of iron fiber, conducting the livest wire. My average grade's higher than Oxford or Cambridge require. I don't want credit because I got a message. I want credit because I'm the best MC. Dead it. When I came out way back in 04, sister, I just won every award. Most man would have done the bait thing. Exists on the chorus chords. That would have been A-list draw. Quickly I would have been famous more, but look how I came in this thing raw. Bang up the streets some more. If I MC then I heard me rap, I'd be like, what the? I ain't never gonna be that good, so I better not push my luck. It will embarrass me. Only insanity would make you challenge me. Better hope if we bump heads, that day that I feel like charity. If not, it's a beating, and there ain't no use in searching for meaning. Cause all it means is that you are crap and I am a genius. Why I'm Panama, I push the perimeter. Can you imagine if I'm sicker than average? I kill him with character. Benjamin Banneker, look at the marriage, a stamina damage, a boy from Botanica. Got to look for the whole of the calendar. So cold that I roll in the challenger. Why you man roll with the amateurs? I'm too much harder. You can just call him Father Akala, but I don't talk shit like a pastor. You already know that I'm smarter than half a bloody disaster. If I ever start, I'll probably a prodigy, make you a martyr. For these crap MCs that mumble, then see me in the flesh and crumble. Never told you that I was humble. No, I'm not. Don't lie. I'm so sure in my writing ability that I feel like I'm finding divinity. Sit down and me rhyme a soliloquy. My agility, time in this military. What a singular team for the mini-me. It seems you're a fiend for the mimicry. Your team couldn't dream of the synergy that I beam when I scheme on a wicked beat. There goes again with the big words with best syllables. Get your dictionaries out. That's what I'm about. Clowns wanna shout. Flash them, smash them in the mouth. Bloody professor, a man of the letters I read and I'm sure that I'm better. Never regret an endeavor to dead an oppressor. I think that the lepers that think that their pleasures are better endeavors than all of our pressures. But see me, born in a rage, maroon blood coursing my veins. As you can see, I was born for the stage, but I'll never be their cultural maid. Some say that we're political, is what they're doing isn't. Don't they preach a political doctrine called materialism? But for all the Italian clothes that you wear, or German cars that you drive, or French champagne that we'll buy, will still be monkeys in their eyes. So why you were begging it? Who knows? Italians fight to wear Jamaican clothes. Italians call their own women for everyone's entertainment, bro. But hey, what do I know? I'm just the one with the codes that flows all over the globe. I'm bunning out shows, but still don't oil my chest and pose. Pose a threat to the power structure. Not because we're anything special, but because we're the people together. And that's the only way things change ever.
Oh my gosh.
Damn. Damn. This man has so much knowledge packed inside of him that he just oozes out throughout this whole entire track. Wow. And there's more. We're at the 8-minute mark, and it seems to be more because it's 14-minute long. So man, this is a lot to digest. So I see why certain types of people will stay away from this, because there's so much information packed into these lines, into these bars, and it requires you to have a basic understanding of history, a basic understanding of these social issues that have gone on not only in Britain but in America as well. Yeah, it's a lot, and it's a lot to digest. But man, this man is talented. I wouldn't take nothing away from him. He is ultra talented.
Akala just tore the building to pieces. I don't even know what to say. I feel like I just been schooled for a hot minute right there. Certain MCs, you know what? Like, I don't want to hear you. Don't call my phone. If you ain't coming to destroy a beat like that, don't call my phone. You're gonna get a voicemail. Akala, wow. I don't even know what to say.
Yo, little story. Let's take him down. Yo, listen. Yo.
I know you gonna dig this.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely, but absolute powerlessness does the same. It's not the poverty, it's the inequality.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely, but absolute powerlessness does the same. That is just a cold bar. At some point, when you can do anything and you can achieve anything, you have all the power in the world. It takes a certain type of person to stay uncorrupted and not want to do wrongdoings. And the absolute powerlessness of not being in control, not being able to pay your bills, and have things in life that you feel like you should have, and that corrupt you in a certain way as well. It will make you want to do things by any means necessary to get what you feel like you should have, what you feel like you deserve. Man. Anyways, let's go.
Quality we live with every day that will turn us insane. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, but absolute powerlessness does the same. It's not the poverty, it's the inequality we live with every day. Yo, listen. In a scheme of living, my life wasn't hard, but as far as Britain goes, I practically starved. Sleeping in a tracksuit, gas meter running out, electric cut off as well, candles lighting up the house. Looking in my mother's eyes, I see how she feels. The strain and the pain of just paying bills that ain't real. And that's how I grew, like so many more. And that was part of who I am very sure. You wanna know the rage I feel in my stomach? No, my mom and dad split up when I was still in her stomach. And not everything that happened I will put in 16s, but I will tell you enough so you will know what I mean. My boy's mother got cancer the same time as mine, but his mother died and mine survived. It was crazy back then. When I was like 10, already had the mental strength more than many grown men. This was a couple years after my stepdad left. Did he really know the crazy mess that he left? Because mum done recover from the lumps in her neck, but being poor and alone couldn't cope with the stress. My big sis fought, so much so, now I hadn't left school. When she left home, I was 13 by now, still a little kid, innocent. Next couple years though, will turn him to a militant. That is the result of no food in the fridge. And every other day you're getting searched by the pigs. Plus these patronizing teachers, though my grade sick, trying to emasculate me, yeah, turn me to a Anna. Don't mean a woman, please let me be clear. I mean a spineless man, because what do they fear? More than a working class brown male with a brain. When our energy is harnessed, everything changed. Look at Pac, look at Marley, look at Hendrix, look at Garvey. This is the potential that is wasted on a daily basis. A racist, classist world that we're living. Still we coming for nothing and we educate millions. I see why it scares you. It's like, how dare you overcome obstacles that we have been careful to place in your way every step of the way. In this so-called democracy where kids get sprayed, blacks and the Asians, Turks and the Chavs, crowded in council flats, living like ants. And who's more confused than so-called white trash, talking this madness about they want their country back? It never was yours. You should read more. What they did to brown people, they did to their own poor, but people's memory.
Oh shit. Woo! This man said it was never yours, and there's truth to that. But we won't get into that one right now. I don't feel like it. But wow. And another bar is what they did to the black folks, they did to their own poor. man, in this world, money runs the world. There is only one thing, in my opinion, that is more powerful, more potent, more important than money, and that's your time here. Because once you run out of it, you're gone. You can't make money. You can't do anything, right? So, time is more important than money. Time is more powerful than money. So, learning how to manage your time and become a person that is worth the money, become the well of knowledge, and become skillful enough where people need your services, and money will be attracted to you. And it's easier said than done. But yeah, man.
Very short, so much that I'm seeing black and Asian kids cuss Eastern Europeans. No pot to piss in, makes competition. I fail to see how this is an effective system when cats and dogs in America and Britain eat better food than most of humanity, and we spend our technology only on killing. How is this more than sophisticated savagery? It was once said, the world is a stage, each person just an actor with a part to play, like the middle class kids and kids of the rich that have everything, but yet still they pissed on they coke and ketamine, strung out on. I ain't generalizing, look at the evidence, or go to Glastonbury any year, you will see. But unlike Carnival, it won't be crawling with police, this is London. The kids on the very next street had a very different life experience from me, and in my experience they can't help but be smug after a lifetime of what they think's just good luck. But they're still more anxious and more thankless. Unearned privilege weighs like an anchor, that's why they copy what we do, trying to be what they not. They will grow up though and get better jobs and maintain a system that they claim that they hated. They can't fight against, they got a stake in this matrix. Hip-hop is just a fad to them, you didn't know? But for us, this is our living, breathing soul. And yeah, they might backpack in South America or even volunteer in an African village, but all said and done, when push comes to shove and hits the fan of middle class and British, and I ain't even dissing, that's just how it is. Most rich brown people are just as full of shit, so much more concerned with our cars and jewels than most of the world's poor looks just like you. So much more concerned with being privileged few. And who knows, maybe me too, because absolute power corrupts absolutely, but absolute powerlessness does the same. It's not the poverty, it's the inequality we live with every day that will turn us insane. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, but absolute powerlessness does the same. It's not the poverty, it's the inequality we live with every day that will turn us insane.
Akala's in the building, man! That's what you call a real MC right here! Just schooled you, man! Please pay attention!
Power.
Knowledge is power!
Yes, sir. Yes,
Akala's
sir.
just put it down, man!
Yes, sir. Yes,
I think we
sir.
just witnessed something real legendary. I think history has just been made in the BBC building, man.
Wow. This man is amazing. He's a wealth of knowledge, and I just want to give kudos for him for even being brave enough to tackle such topics. He refuses to rap about anything that is not real and raw and authentic to him, and I commend that 100%. In a world where everybody is trying to go viral, is trying to make music so that they can make a bag and get rich and not have to work a 9 to 5, they don't see it as something to pour their all into and something to as an outlet for self-expression. They see it as a get rich quick type of thing, or you know what I'm saying, and that's how the aspect they promote is that's the way they enter into it, and it's the wrong way. I like to say that this man Akala lives, breathes this, you know what I'm saying. He feels it in his soul. He was a messenger, and this is his platform. This is his medium. This is the way he brings his message into the world, and I won't take nothing away from him. Magnificent. Everything was magnificent. Everything was real. Everything was raw. I don't know what else to say, man. I'm so glad I sat through this and watched it. It inspired something in me. It reminded me of who I am, where I came from, and what I should be doing. And with that said, man, I thank you guys for recommending me Akala in the first place. I did part 1 of this. This is part 2. I will be doing part 3 sometimes in the future with Rando. And the last thing I want to do is let y'all know that I am working on an album. I don't have a release date for it yet, but it's a piece of music that comes from me. Disregard what you may have seen on my channel, because a lot of that stuff was my first attempt at making music. I had never made music before. It's one thing to say, hey, I love music so much that I want to make it. You may have taste, but you don't have the tools required to make good music yet. It's through repetition and making songs and refining your techniques when it comes to engineering and mixing that you will arrive at the place where you will make something that you're proud of. My aim for this album is not to tell truths about my life, to tell raw stories. It's just to showcase my abilities and make songs about love, and make songs about breakups, and make songs about terrible situations, and make songs about good times and parties. There will be a mix. The album will be called Hello World, and expect the first few singles to start rolling out in the next months. So I would appreciate it if all of you guys who've come to my channel to watch me react to wonderful music around the world would lend me your support and give me your criticism. Whether if it's bad, tell me if it's bad. If it's decent, tell me it's decent. If it's good, tell me it's good. This is what we're here for. I love making music, and I will continue to do so. Don't think that you're deterring me from that. Don't worry. Let me know. Let me know harshly. All right, if you have to. But thank you for helping me grow this channel. Thank you for experiencing music all around the world with me. And yeah, wherever you are, have a great day. So random. We out.